So joining me now is Mr. A.S. Ganeshan, and we are going to speak about this GNSS meet and what Gagan has achieved so far. Mr. Ganeshan, thank you for speaking to GeoBiz. Can you tell us about the status of Gagan?
Gagan is now fully operational. We have two satellites, GSAT 8 and GSAT 10, which carries the Gagan payload. So with the navigation payload on GSAT 8 and 10, we make it available for aviation purposes. A single satellite carrying the navigation payload or the augmentation payload is enough for a non-aviation purpose. Today, with two satellites up carrying this, now we have the capability of an aircraft coming in for an approach for landing purposes. And this is certified for an APV1, approach with vertical guidance. This is what has been certified. So which will take approximately, the aircraft will be guided to about 1.3 kilometers from the edge of the runway. The benefit of that is very simple. One is Gagan helps you to do a direct point-to-point flight. Today when you fly from, let's say, from Bengaluru to Delhi, there's a waypoint reporting. It goes up to one point and then you can see on the screens in the aircraft, it takes a diversion. That is called the waypoint reporting. Now you can have a crow flight, which means that there's a tremendous amount of saving of fuel. This carbon dioxide emission also reduces. And also because the accuracy is with integrity, accuracies today we are achieving is about a meter in horizontal and about 2.5 in vertical. What does this mean? This means you can pack many aircrafts one behind the other. So the number of services that you can improve, or the passenger carrying capacities also improve quite significantly. This is a significant benefit as far as aviation sector is concerned. Also there is another very big thought that's going on, what's called the greenfield airport, where very small cities and districts of India would have airports that will be coming up. For all these things you need not have very good landing facility, you need not have ILS, and maintenance of all these things is very costly and time consuming process. All these things get simplified with just a receiver on board and a flight management system equipped on the aircraft. So it's going to be simply a big benefit for Airports Authority of India. Non-aviation sector, plenty already are happening. In the railways, already ISRO is doing something for railways. Particularly it is believed that the accidents, particularly level crossings, are not there. There have been several deaths that has happened. Now a system is being developed. Automatically we have Bhuvan, a system which tells a map of any required place within India. So as the train has a Bhuvan in it and also an accurate system like Gagan in it, it will be able to tell well before a level crossing is coming. There will be a hooting system automatically deployed. So even if the engine driver is alert or otherwise, this would be automatically hooting, and thereby it informs the people from not crossing. This is supposed to be a very significant contribution. There is also talk going on Konkan Valley, that is anti-collision in the railways. So there are many such projects that are going to benefit in many ways. Today there is a National Highways Authorities for Transport. Some discussions are going on as to how quickly we can get the benefit of this into this sort of programs. Forest Department is already benefiting by covering the areas in which the forest extent has been there, and also to identify wildlife in the forest areas. So there are plenty of applications. This is just, I would say, there's going to be an explosion of this in the few years to come. Probably this will be eliminated. This is one thing. And collision, because we are talking of accuracies of about a meter, that's the sort of horizontal accuracies. So we can avoid, all the parallel lines are there. We can put a level on which line a particular thing, unique IDs for each line, and if a train is coming in that, what is that, relative positions can all be transferred to a central hub facility, and we can ensure that these collisions can all be avoided. These are just naming a few. We could think of many ways. We can even, for example, put a Gagan receiver on any of the goods train, and we can locate, I believe sometimes these goods trains are taken away somewhere away. So many of the food products that are there cannot be located sometimes. So if you have a Gagan receiver, you will be able to locate exactly where it is. It is like a intelligent transportation system. Or like for example today our taxis. When the taxi operator operates, he knows which is the nearest vehicle he has to call so that his efficiency is improved. So likewise, if you have the information of various wagons in a centralized location, you can really spot which of your cargo or each of these bogies can be found out where they are distributed. So I think we can just keep on talking about the benefits once you know the position of the any moving object or static object is to be delivered. So it's just going to be a mind-boggling benefit that one is going to get in railways.
Prime Minister Modi has been stressing a lot on about using space technology in all his ministries. Do you see other ministries also proactively taking part in using space technology, and has someone approached you apart from railways?
First and foremost, the people to answer this question is from the headquarters. However, from whatever I have known, already we have seen, as I said, railways is approaching, the transport ministry is trying to approach us. There are several of these fisheries, forest department, all are now approaching us to see what benefits they could get. So this is just going to catch up. You will see, if you ask this question next year to me, I don't think you would have even asked me the question, because you would have seen the benefits already reaching. The next time we conduct a user meet, we would like all the users to speak and not us as service providers. We want to see how much of benefit they have got.
I was listening to the session going on over here, and the focus was on the smart cities. And this government has already announced 100 cities which they want to make smart cities. What kind of role can ISRO or can Gagan play in that?
In any smart cities, you must have heard both the talks. There was a presentation very clearly indicating many of the smart cities, whether you in a smart city you must have a good transportation system. You should be, everything should be. There are many applications which require position information. Position information becomes the most fundamental for any development of a smart city. So any of these things, if you have a Gagan receiver placed for any of the applications which is required to give you a position, certainly satellite based augmentation system, Gagan, and also the IRNSS will play a very critical role in development of smart cities in the country. There is a need to work a working group with all the stakeholders put together. It includes the ministries, it includes the industries, it includes the location-based system, the platforms, and so on and so forth. All the players need to be integrated together if this has to be made very efficient.
From a common man's point of view, why is Gagan or Bhuvan not as popular as GPS?
You know, GPS was evolved so many, at least 2.5 decades ago as a program. Gagan has just come over a year and a half. But that's not a comparison. Even today, what I understand is there are many people in the United States where the wide area augmentation system is there, the GPS is there. The utility of such a navigation service is not fully met even in systems which has come up much earlier to us. I think we are doing relatively a very good model. Gagan is GPS aided geo augmented navigation. It is an augmentation on the GPS. GPS typically might not meet the sort of accuracy requirement as what Gagan can provide. Okay. Gagan is today the message, if you want, replace GPS receivers with Gagan receivers. Only thing right now it's in high-end receivers. Today I did show that already it's on the high-end receiver, Nexus, GNSS 5, Sony, all Samsung, all this already have the Gagan available into the system. It's there in your mobile. If you have a high-end receiver, you can see that.
How are you collaborating with the private sector?
That is one of the main objectives. The receivers we don't make, we only make the same, we are service providers. Even in the satellite business, there are so many things that we take from the industry. Even in the launch vehicle sector, everywhere we take the industry. But particularly in the navigation, the application areas particularly, I think there's going to be a rich potential for the platform developers, the app developers, the receiver manufacturers. It's going to be a host of industry participation. That was what was the whole idea. The idea is to bring together all the stakeholders, and there's a lot of potential for industries to participate and bring home the benefits to the common man. You must have read that we already have one launch per month now. If we have to meet that sort of an aggressive requirement, ISRO alone will have difficulty realizing that. So we will have participation from the industry.
How do you see India's space program evolve in the last couple of years? How do you see it has evolved?
I think it has been phenomenal. You must have read about Mars mission. We have heard of Chandrayaan mission. We have done so much actually. These are missions which attract the attention from the science community, from the common man's perspective. But more than that, I think what we have been doing in the communication satellites, what we are doing in the remote sensing satellites, the navigation program, and the sort of application areas, that which reaches the common man. The motive of our space program is to see that the benefits of anything that we do in satellite business goes to the last man. And a citizen-centric programs is what we have in space technology.
Mr. Ganeshan, thanks a lot for speaking.
It's been my pleasure.
And all the best for your Gagan venture.
Thank you very much.